Hey guys, it's me. Good news is my voice is back, mostly. I still have to take it easy, but I can talk. And also, my energy is very slowly returning. The cortisol test the doctors ran came back normal, so they don't know why I'm chronically fatigued like this, but I'm on a new medication that should help me get my energy back by causing my blood pressure to increase through salt retention. I should feel a lot better in a couple of weeks after being on this, but we'll see. So that's the good news. Things are starting to go better for me health-wise. And I appreciate all the prayers and kind words that you guys have said for me. It's really been encouraging to me, and I appreciate it. Now the bad news is I'm being cyberstalked by an ex-best friend. Earlier on, I made a video where I referred to this person as unstable. Long story short, we were friends in college because we had a class together. After college, we lost touch. Last year, when my ex left me, she had to leave her ex because he was evil. He mentally and emotionally abused her. He manipulated her. He cheated on her many times with many women, all the while making it out like it was her fault that he did that. He was pure evil. And she found me when we were both hurting, and we grew really close. We became like sisters. Facebook messaging and video chatting every day, throughout the whole day. Basically inseparable. And it was great to have that constant contact with someone who knew what I was dealing with. Granted, hers was much worse, but to some degree I had been abused too, emotionally and mentally. So we understood each other, and it was great to have that closeness. Well, her ex wasn't going to let her go, so he kept harassing her, telling her to take him back. And because of my help, she grew the backbone needed to tell him no. He didn't like that, so he resorted to talking to her friends behind her back and telling them that she was the one that hurt him. And it was unbelievable. And some of her friends believed his story. So I had to go and talk to those friends who were bothering her, and I had to set them straight for her because she couldn't handle it. It was too much for her, and I was happy to help her. Eventually, I had to do the same to him, telling him to knock it off, leave her alone, get a new life, find a new toy. You know, it was horrible. And it took me weeks of constantly insisting that she get a restraining order against him, because he wasn't going to go away otherwise. She finally did. But then a month or so after that, she just vanished. I was unable to contact her. When I tried texting and calling her, I got that message that you get when someone discontinues their phone service. And I was really confused and getting concerned because we went from constantly talking throughout the day to nothing for a couple of days. And then after a couple of weeks of trying to get in touch with her through that and Facebook, and seeing her post updates about going to country concerts while leaving my messages unresponded to and unread, I had it. I was certain that something was going on. So I went to her house to check on her, and she wouldn't see me. At that time, her couch had the back of it facing the front door. So when I was over there and her dad opened the front door, I could see the back of her head. She was 15 feet away from me. She wouldn't even look at me or talk to me, except to say she doesn't want to see anyone right now. I was deeply confused and hurt and worried. But I figured something was going wrong and I didn't want to make a bad situation worse. So I just told her, sorry you're dealing with whatever you're dealing with. If you don't want to talk, I get it. I'll just be going now then. You know where to find me when you're ready to talk. So I went home. And I waited to hear from her for a few weeks, but nothing. But she still kept updating about going out to places. Really hurt. And after a while, I just forgot about it. But then she messages me saying that she's sorry she didn't talk, but a family member was dying. She was going through a lot, and she just couldn't talk to anybody. And that she was staying off of Facebook to avoid drama. And that her mom took her phone away. Now, she's just a year younger than me. Slight mental handicap, but nowhere near enough to warrant being treated like a child like that. So I didn't buy that. And I was direct with her. And long story short, I told her I used every means to get in touch with you, but you were avoiding me, and that hurt. And I didn't understand. But I'm not mad. And if you want to still be friends, that's fine, but we're not going to be close like we used to be. And she was saying, sorry she hurt me, but she just couldn't talk, and what was she supposed to do? And I'm like, you were supposed to let me know that you needed help, and I would have helped you. But she was acting like she had to deal with it alone. She didn't know what to do. So I'm like, that's fine, but next time you gotta go disappear, give me a heads up first so I don't worry. Then she drops the bomb on me that while she wasn't talking to me, she was talking to her ex. The one that I had to have her get a restraining order against. I couldn't believe it. I was deeply hurt, very angry, and in disbelief. I had been nothing but good to her. I had fought her battles for her when she couldn't. And all I asked in return is that she listened to me vent when I was hurt or upset. And so for her to say that he helped her because he was available, in other words, and I wasn't, that was it. I explained to her that it was insane of her to go to her evil ex for support while I was right there all along. And that a restraining order means you don't talk to them ever again. And what was she thinking? And she was just acting like, well, he was there for me. He helped me. He made it better. And I'm like, well, thank you for saying that your evil, abusive ex is a better help than I am. It was just insane. It was very insulting and very hurtful. So I told her, I'm done being your friend. Don't talk to me again. We're done. And she was acting like I was being childish, selfish, stupid, and disloyal. Saying that, well, fine, I got better friends to talk to that actually care about me. And acting like I need to get over it. You know, acting like, well, I know I hurt you, but this is really annoying. You need to just turn the other cheek and get over it before you lose me. And I was like, you already lost me. Why don't you understand that? So basically, I ended up blocking her on Facebook because I was done with her. Then she found me on Instagram not even a couple weeks later. Same messages of, you need to take me back before you lose me, and I know you're hurt, but get over it. And I miss you. And again, I told her we're not friends anymore because of what you did. You don't understand how you hurt me. You don't care how you hurt me. So we're not going to be friends anymore. Go away. And I blocked her on Instagram. Then she found my Facebook page that is for my YouTube channel. Same messages over and over again. demanding I take her back and calling me stupid for not wanting to. Basically acting like her ex did to her. And at that point, I was with Matt, and he was helping me. He was talking to her on my behalf while I was sitting next to him. And I just couldn't believe her. She eventually turned very, very crude, telling us to do things to ourselves. And then she had one of her friends contact me to harass me too. Acting like she was the victim and I was the evil meanie who hurt her. And I better think twice. Just insanity. I ended up having a near breakdown just from the stress of it, because she wasn't going away. And I ended up having to block her on YouTube, but before I blocked her, she commented with her personal cell phone number, saying that I need to get in touch with her, and she needs to talk to me, and to please call her at this phone number. I didn't delete that comment. I just let it sit there, because if you're stupid enough to post personal contact info like that for everyone to see, then you gotta deal with what happens as a result of that. I'm not your babysitter. I'm not gonna look out for you. And that actually was really handy, because she bothered me again last week. And commenting on my public Facebook saying that I'm pathetic. My videos are pathetic and depressing and a waste of time. And that I need a therapist and all this. And in order to ban her publicly, I had to unblock her from my personal page first. That really frustrates me. And I think Facebook needs to change that. But I did. But before I could block her again, I had to wait 48 hours. And while I was waiting for that 48 hours to go by, I figured, you know what, I will send her one final message. Stop harassing me. Harassing me will not get me to take you back. We are over because of what you did. Get your own life and stay out of mine. And she had the nerve to say, well, I didn't want you to get back in her life. And I've heard plenty of things about you. And stop messaging me and I'm blocking you. She's like the child that pokes the sibling in the face repeatedly, but then freaks out the minute the sibling can't take it anymore and they move her hand out of the way. And then she freaks out acting like, oh, they touched me. So I had enough. I had her blocked on Facebook, public Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. And I had to block her on YouTube as well. And she still wasn't giving up. So I contacted local law enforcement. I explained what was going on. They were very understanding. They sent a car to her house. No one was home at that time. But the officer told me, we went to the house, no one was there. But if you need us to, we can go back out there again. Just let us know when you think she'll be home. So I was going to let that sit for a little bit. But then I realized the time the cop went over there was probably when she was at work. So I waited until later. And I talked to a different officer. Told him what happened. And he asked me if I had her phone number. And I remembered, oh yeah, she was dumb enough to comment with it publicly. So I gave the number to the cop. And he called her, got her voicemail. Then he called me back and said it is her phone number. In the voicemail greeting, she identified herself. And I left a voice message telling her to call me back and that I will be at work until 1 in the morning. This was all yesterday. So, thankfully, the police listened to me. They contacted her, and they're not just writing me off as being petty or whatever. And I'm hoping and honestly praying that just having the voicemail from the police department on her phone will be enough of a deterrent for her to stop trying to contact me. Because I don't want to deal with this anymore. I left the friendship a year ago and she's still bugging me. So, at this point, if she contacts me again, I'm going to go down to the local police department and actually file a written report and see what else I can do before getting a restraining order. Because that's the last step I want to take. Because it's a lot of time, it's a lot of effort, and it's just way more complicated than this should have to be. So I'm just waiting to see what happens. And I'm just feeling relieved that the police listened to me. Because no one should deal with stalking like this. It's against the law. And in individuals with other medical problems, it can lead to health worsening too. Stress makes my gut problems and my headache issue worse. She's actually made me sick. So I'm already starting to feel better knowing that I'm doing what I need to do for my own sanity, health, and peace of mind. But I just find it sad that I have to go through so much work to get her to go away. I feel a lot better now that I've gotten that off my chest and filled you guys in. In the comments, I want you to tell me what you think of all this. And tell me your story if you've been stalked like that by someone before. And if you're being stalked, I recommend that you try not to respond to their efforts at communicating with you, but keep screenshots of everything they say to you. Keep records of every contact they try to make with you. Block them on whatever means they're using to get in touch with you. And if it doesn't stop, contact your local law enforcement because they can help you. Every police department has a non-emergency phone number for things like this. But if they're directly threatening your life or your livelihood or your safety, then you can easily get a restraining order without a whole lot of difficulty. In my case, she's not making threats against me. She's just harassing me and making it clear that she's not going to go away. But hopefully now that will stop. But I do feel better now. And I thank you guys for listening. And I thank you guys for your input. It means a lot to me. I'll keep you guys posted if anything changes. But in the meantime, thank you for watching. Thank you for being patient with me. And thank you for just sticking around, even though my uploads lately have not been that awesome. I love you all, and I thank you. Have a good one.